Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Tori, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. We have a hodgepodge of things to talk about lately. I realized that all the things that I have going on in my life that we haven't really talked about yet started with teas. So I decided to just name the podcast episode something catchy, and we're going to jump into all three of these things, catch up. It's a gloomy day. I'm pretty sure I have a sinus infection, so we're just going to chill and talk about it. The three things we're going to be talking about is one, Taylor Swift. I don't think I even really talked about the new album coming out, so we have to hash that out. We really have some things to talk about there to catch up on. Obviously, Taylor is back touring again. There's just lots that we need to cover. The next thing we're going to be talking about is TikTok, specifically how I make money on TikTok. If you want to know how to make money on TikTok, make it another stream of income, which in this day and age, get that coin, get as many streams of income as you possibly can. I thought it'd be something I'd just go over because it's kind of consuming my life lately, which is good and bad. I girl bossed a little too close to the sun and it's going a little too well, which means that I'm trying to balance it on top of everything else. So I'm just gonna briefly go over that since it is consuming my life and it's kind of cool. I feel like you guys would be interested in hearing about that, but if you want me to go into deeper detail, definitely let me know if that's something interesting to you, and I'll do a whole video where I deep dive into it. Not a video, a whole podcast episode, and then it'll be on video if you are someone who watches the podcast. The third thing we are going to be talking about is time constraints. Your girl is going to be 25 next month, and it's starting to set in. The panic is starting to set in. I'm halfway through my 20s. I can't say I'm in my early 20s anymore after next month, and I feel the pressure of time, so I just wanted to talk about that. If that's something that you feel, especially in your 20s, I feel like we all kind of have that pressure, then stick around because we're going to talk about that as well. But that is a brief overview of the vibes for today. Nothing too crazy, nothing too busy or heavy. We are just going to dive into what's going on in my life and all the topics that consumes. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Before I get to it though, I forgot to mention it sooner. Don't forget to follow on whatever platform you are currently listening on, as well as leave a rating, a review, a comment, a like, whatever it may be. I want to hear from you and know what topics you want me to talk about more, what topics I should talk about less. It's our podcast, so let me know what you want our podcast to be about. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm Grace Tori, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. So first off, my initial thoughts on the Tortured Poets Department, tongue twister for girlies like me who talk so fast we can't say anything straight, ttpd. First thoughts is that it's definitely giving folklore vibes, a combination of folklore and Evermore. I think it could go one of two ways. It's either going to be, or both, it's going to be the third part of folklore and Evermore, the third sister kind of, and be very similar to those, or it's gonna be the older sister to Midnight's, where I saw this thought that Midnight's is when she was in kind of denial about her relationship ending, and then this is her coming to terms with her relationship ending, which I think could be very true. I just hold on to the idea that Midnight's is more about discovering yourself than about a relationship. Yes, there are relationship parts to it, but I also feel someone kind of phrased it as Midnight's is you choosing yourself, and at the beginning it starts as her choosing a relationship or someone who's outside of herself and being a people pleaser, and then by the end it's her choosing herself and not giving her energy to anything that kind of disrupts her peace. So I tend to follow that narrative, but that's the beautiful thing about music. Everyone can come up with their own narrative for it, but I do think that the idea of Midnight's being her in denial and then ttpd being her coming to terms with it and just being angry and sad and all the things that come with a relationship ending, I think that could be definitely very accurate. But the vibes are either very folklore Evermore or kind of old rock, it's almost giving Stevie Nicks vibes. I don't know, let me know your thoughts on it, because in my head it almost gives Stevie Nicks vibes. But then the poetry aspect of it, I don't know. I did see the old Hollywood stuff, so maybe I don't know. I'm all over the place. I would love to hear your thoughts. My next question is, how is this going to affect the Eras Tour? Is it going to be like a whole new tour? I have a feeling it's not going to really affect it aside from being surprise songs, because I don't think she's going to add a whole other era. I don't think she's going to really do a permanent set. So maybe she will do like surprise songs and then do another tour for it. But I was holding on to the theory that after this she's going to do a tour for Debut, because Debut is like never got its own tour. But now I'm like, well, is she going to do a tour for this instead and not do anything for Debut? But also, I'm thinking about how Harry Styles did a tour for like 2 or 3 years, and then now he's just kind of quiet and doing his own thing. So I'm wondering if she's going to do that, because she has to be tired, right? Like, she has to be tired. So she's probably going to take a break. I don't know. Like, I want to know your theories on how this is going to fit into Eras tour, if it's even going to fit in at all. Maybe she'll do her own tour for it years down the road. Like, obviously, she's wildly successful. She technically didn't tour Lover or Midnights or Evermore, Folklore, those albums. So she can definitely do it years down the road and still be wildly successful. I just don't know if she would want to, because, like, the reason she didn't with the other albums is because of COVID. And I don't know. I want to know your thoughts, because I have a lot of thoughts about it. I just haven't talked about it yet, because I kind of was waiting to see what everybody else would say, but no one really has like a definite answer. Obviously, we're not going to get a definite answer, but there doesn't seem to be like one theory that everyone collectively agreed is what's going on. We're all kind of just running around with our own thoughts. And there's also the idea of Rep TV. I still would like, well, I still think Rep TV is going to come out the end of the year, like October. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? I have many. I want to know your thoughts. Swifties, let's talk about it in the comments or on my Instagram or TikTok. All the links are down below. We have to discuss this. Next, we need to talk about how I'm a TikTok influencer now. Let me specify, actually, get a little bit more detailed. My pets are TikTok influencers now. And I'm just the manager. I'm just the Chris of it all. Let's talk about it. So there are 3 different ways that I'm currently utilizing TikTok. Obviously, like, I'm posting, but these are the 3 ways that you can make money on TikTok that I'm utilizing, because I feel like that's what you guys really want to know. And it's what I'm mainly focusing on, like how to monetize, because it's kind of cool. First is obviously TikTok Shop. That's what everybody's doing. I think the fun part of TikTok Shop is that a lot of times, like I'd probably say 60 to 70% of the time, is your videos get more views when you tag a product, which I thought was really cool. Like, when you use TikTok Shop, you get way more views. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes. I will say that being someone who has used it, there are a lot of issues, and customer service is not any help. Like, there's been multiple times where I've had issues with samples, like free stuff, that's supposed to get here, not getting here for a month, or like it got here but it never marked as delivered in the app, and that's an issue because you could only get a certain number of free samples at a time. So if multiple of your samples got delivered but it says that they're not there yet, then you can't request more samples even though you already did the video and completed it and everything. So you have to really rely on the brand working with you and kind of talking to customer service on your behalf, because the brand's the one who says yes, they got the product, or no, they didn't get the product. And so it's really hard. Like, I wish that it was a more seamless process, but it's honestly really fun. I highly recommend it. If you have 5,000 followers on TikTok, and then there's like some other stipulations, but I know that one's the biggest one. If you have that, definitely sign up for TikTok Shop. You get free stuff. If people buy from your video, you get money. It's just a fun little gig, guys. Like, I'm getting fun stuff for my dogs and my bunnies. And, like, I'm not even saying that in, like, a woo, look at me way. Like, I'm so humbled. You guys know I'm the first person to have imposter syndrome. I am just, like, shook. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's more of, like, a fun thing that I'm doing than, like, anything else. And it's just really exciting. So, yeah, I really encourage you to hop on the trend while it's a big thing, because I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm just riding the wave while it's here, and it's fun. Next, I'm going to talk about the creator program beta. This one is TikTok's version of YouTube's creator program, where, like, you get money for posting, but you have to get at least 1,000 views on your video, and it has to be at least a minute long, which is a long time to get, like, because it's a game at the end of the day. That's why I like it so much. I kind of look at it like a game. Each video has to get over 1,000 views. If you want to get 1,000 views, that means, oh, and it has to be from the For You page, at least 1,000 views from your For You page. On top of that, you have to it has to be at least a minute long. Well, you're not going to get pushed to the For You page unless people are watching a large part of your video, like they're spending a good amount of time watching your video. So it's like a game of how to figure it out, like how to get more engagement and things like that. And it's really challenging, which is why I personally enjoy it. I'm not over here making a ton of money or anything. I haven't even made any money from the creator program yet. It's just like a fun challenge, and I like the challenge of it. I think for that one you have to have, like, I think it's 10,000 followers and then 100,000 views within 30 days, which was hard. It was so hard, but I'm really proud of myself for doing it. Like, we're just over here having self-discipline because it took self-discipline having to post like 7 times a day or whatever. So yeah, that was rough. The third way to monetize that I'm currently using is Creator Marketplace, which is where you go on there and there's like brands looking for influencers to work with. They have the amount that they will pay you posted. They have the requirements posted. It's very much a brand deal. That one's hard because brands are so picky, and there's honestly just not a lot on there for pets. Like, it's mainly for beauty and mommy influencers, like vloggers and like things like that. There's just not a lot of stuff for pets on there. And I tried to do like workout gear because I take my dogs for hikes and walks and stuff, and people were like, no. Not that it's good or bad, whatever, it's not a big deal. Again, like, this is just like a fun challenge to me, but it is a lot harder to collab on there and get brand deals that way without people coming to you first. So that's the third way. I'm just gonna give you some tips for TikTok in general, and then again, like, if you want me to do a whole video on it, I got you. But quick tips: followers only matter for requirements. You aren't gonna get more views for followers. You aren't gonna get pushed more for more followers. It genuinely, I mean, maybe when you hit a certain amount, we have 20,000 right now, and it gets just as much as my account with 140 followers, which is my podcast account. It's genuinely just about engagement and views. Followers only matter for the requirements, and TikTok has come out and said they don't give people with more followers an advantage over people who don't have as many. So it genuinely is not like a thing. So yeah, don't get in your head too much about people following you. It's more about views, engagement, and that sort of thing. Getting pushed on the For You page. Followers help, but it's really only for the requirement part of TikTok, like having to have a certain amount of followers to do something. Use the newest features. That's what the algorithm pushes. So use the location, use the little thing where it's like a camera with a plus in the middle. Use 2 to 3 hashtags. Use the things that are newest on the platform because that's what they're pushing, and you're gonna get more views if you use them. It's the same on every other platform, honestly. Any social media platform, use the newest thing that just came out, because for the first little while, they're gonna push your content if you use it more, and you're gonna get more engagement, following, all that good stuff. You want to have something in the related content bar. When you click on your TikTok video, at the top it says find related content. You want that to say something, because like, you know how when you go on a viral video, it'll say, why does the search bar say da 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 da? That's the related content bar. And I found that when content has something there, like whether it says, I had one the other day that said running, because I posted a video about my dog who likes to jump over like 5-foot fences and run away, so she has to be on a lead at all times, even in our fenced-in backyard. And it got the search term running, and it got way more views because the related content bar found something for it. I haven't cracked the code to how to get on the good side of that and like get the related content bar to recognize you. A lot of people say it's like the keywords and hashtags and caption and all that, like it's a combination of everything, but I haven't really figured out what best practices are for that yet, but you definitely want to get on that. And the last thing is you want people to comment, so don't be afraid to say something a little controversial, ask questions, get people to comment, because comments make a big difference when you're trying to get it pushed to the For You page. So that's my very quick rundown of TikTok, things I've learned, how to make money off of it, all the vibes. So yeah, besties, go get that coin. Last thing we're going to talk about is time constraints. This is where I feel like I'm having time constraints in my life right now. I've got 4 different areas. Let's talk about it. So the first one is our lease is up for renewal April 1st, which means they're coming in and doing a walkthrough of the house, which is not a huge deal. Our house is fine, but it's still very stressful because we like want to have Stanley Steamer come out and do the carpets. We want to restain some places. We need to touch up paint in places. We need to redo some things in the house. Like, there's a lot of things around the house we've been pushing off that we have to get done before this. And so the time constraint on that is a lot because obviously we're both very busy. We both work full-time and then have side hustles on top of that. And it's coming up, like, we have to do our walkthrough before April 1st, obviously. And so there's just a lot of stress there, and I'm feeling the time constraints. We need to have someone come and do our yard. We need to have the inside of our house done. A big thing for me is my room. We just don't have very much decor in our room. When we moved in, it was very expensive to pay, like, our security deposit was like $3,000 because they literally told us, they were like, yeah, you guys are young and we don't believe that you actually have the money to like pay for the house. So we're gonna make you pay a $3,000 security deposit, which is a lot of, like, more than a month's rent, obviously, almost 2 months rent. And you are going to have to pay double the pet fees. Like, we had to pay like 3 months rent on top of that. Like, they were so ageist. I'm not even gonna lie, but we loved the house. We fell in love with the house, so we were like, fine, we'll do it. But because of that, we didn't have a lot of money when we moved in, which meant that we still don't have a lot of decor. My office is done. Our living room is 3/4 of the way done. That's it. Like, that is it. Josh's office is done. That's it. Kitchen, not done. Dog room, because instead of a dining room, we just have a dog room, not done. Bedroom, not done. None of the bathrooms are done. Like, our house is just very bare. So I know it's like a first world problem, and I know this is like a good stress to have, but Josh kind of gave me the go-ahead to buy decor for the house, which means I have to actually do it. I have to have the money to do it. I have to have the time for it to come in and get it done. So I'm very stressed about that, and I'm excited to finally have it done, but what if we do it and then they're like, nah, because they're very picky about the house. They're very particular about the house. And if it's not the exact way they want it during the walkthrough, like, I know that they'll be like, okay, yeah, no, leave. Like, you can't be here anymore. So I'm very stressed about that. Our landlords are not the greatest, as you can tell, but we love the house, so we put up with it, and then we're going to buy a house when we can, but whatever. So yeah, that's really stressful. Second time constraint I'm dealing with is just money. Like, I feel like everyone's dealing with that. It's not just money, it's like my career. So I'm 24. I know that I shouldn't have a crazy career yet, but then you look at all the other people in my field, and I know comparison is the thief of joy. Like, I'm really not trying to be that girl who like compares myself to other people because we're all in our own lane, but it's very hard when I see people who are like way younger than me making so much freaking money and having their life figured out. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I live like paycheck to paycheck, and it's very stressful. We're hoping probably, like, I'm not putting a timeline on it, but the plan as of at this point in time is to get engaged maybe this year. Like, we've started the conversation, which would mean that we have to start saving up for a wedding. We also want to buy a house if the market drops this year. I have to pay off my loans and then, like, still pay for life. There's a lot just going on, and I feel like it all just kind of hits you at once, all the things that are happening in this season of life. So I'm feeling some time constraints there because I need to just figure out money and get it saved up and get it going for all of these fun, exciting, amazing things that I'm very blessed to be able to do and want to do, but at the same time, they come with the stress of, like, how are we going to afford this? So people don't really talk about that much, but it's a thing, and it's stressful. The third thing is I'm really stressed about my pets getting older. I feel like there's a time constraint there. My horse is getting older, and I'm currently not doing lessons or competing with her because I can't afford it, and I really would like to do that. You know, you never just you never know the good old days until the good old days are over, and I haven't taken a lesson with Moondance in probably 6 years. Haven't competed with her in 6 years, and that's like my joy in life, is like not just competing, but having the ability to do that, like just go out and ride and be with her. And it's so hard knowing she's getting older, and for the foreseeable future I just can't enjoy her. I'm still seeing her once a week, but it's just not, I don't know, it's really sad. I've been walking Evie because she's a little overweight, and hi Bun Bun. Sorry, my bunny just ran up to me. She's a little overweight, and I'm really stressed out about her getting like diabetes or some sort of heart condition, or the things that come with getting older. And I don't want to say, okay, let me back up. When I say I'm walking Evie, that means I'm taking her for like long walks. She has our backyard. She has plenty of stimulation. I'm not preventing her from doing anything. Like, she's by no means in a bad situation. She has the life of a dog who's owned by 2 people who don't have kids or and are on a dual income. So like, she is fine. I'm just taking the time to walk her, and I'm really stressed about her health. I'm really stressed about not having enough time with her because I do hustle so much to try and figure everything out and have the funds. Like, it's just so stressful. And then also like giving my bunnies the best life possible. I want to have like a whole kingdom for their little selves, them little bunnies. And they have my office, but I just want to be able to buy some nicer things for them while they're here, and it's kind of hard when I'm on the budget I'm on. So I don't want this to come off like I'm complaining. I know that I'm so blessed. I don't know how many times I can say that. I'm just like feeling but these are just what are on the forefront of my mind right now, and it's what I wanted to kind of just like relay to you guys, since it is like such a big stressor for me right now. And I don't know, maybe you can relate. If you can relate, that's what it's about. I want you to feel like you have someone who is here in your corner, and we're getting through it together. So the very last thing on this portion of the podcast, time constraint, is my age. I mentioned I'm turning 25. I'm getting older. It's me. Hi, I'm almost 25. It's me. I am panicking. We are in panic mode. No one talks about the pressure that you feel at 25, because when you're 25, most people don't have it figured out yet. Most people aren't in the career of their dreams. They aren't in their house. They aren't married. There's still a lot to be figured out when you're 25. And part of my stress does come from living in the Bible Belt. So like, most of my friends are either single and nowhere near finding out what they want to do, who they want to be, who they're going to marry, any of that. Or they got married at 20 and they have kids and they have it all figured out, and they marry their high school sweetheart. So I'm somewhere in between, and I don't know if a lot of people experience the pressure of being, I know a lot of people do in the United States, but we just don't have it figured out at 25, and no one really talks about how you have the pressure of, wow, I was 20 yesterday and tomorrow I'm gonna be 30. Like, that's how it feels. You're just like at a crossroads, and you're like, there's so much more I want to do. I need to get my shit together. There's so much more I want to do before I turn 30 specifically. Like, I have so many more things I need to get out of my system when I'm young and dumb, or so to speak. Like, you can do a lot less responsible things when you're 20. And I just need to be irresponsible and get some more things done before I turn 30 and have more, I don't know, like more adult, more responsible decisions to make. So I'm really stressing. Your girl is stressing. I feel like quarter life crisis coming on. And I think that's good, because it's going to reboot me, and I think that it's going to force me to cut some ties and get rid of some things in my life that I no longer need to tolerate, need to put up with, have put me on the wrong path. And so I think it's good, but I'm also like, oh, I'm gonna panic. Oh, I'm gonna have anxiety. Oh, anxiety attack, here I come. Oh, I'm gonna be panicked for the next 2 months. So I'm feeling those time constraints. I know that 25 is so young. Whenever I tell people I'm 24, they honestly expect me to be way older. And they're like, oh my gosh, you are so young. I hear it all the time. And I'm like, I know, but I don't want to be older yet. Like, I have so much left to do and so much left to experience. And so I'm panicking. So yeah, that is literally it for this episode. It's just me talking about what the heck is going on, what the heck is up, stress in my life, things that I'm thinking about, all the vibes. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry it's kind of like a random mix of things. If you like that, let me know and maybe I'll do more. If you don't like that, also let me know and I'll do less. But let me know your thoughts either way. If you haven't followed yet, what are you doing, girly? Go ahead and click that follow or subscribe or whatever the term is and join our community of girlies. We are all striving to be the best version of ourselves and we would love to have you. I upload every single Wednesday and Sunday. If you're watching this on the Wednesday it comes out, I hope you have a great night. If you're watching this on any other day, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or night. I love you guys so much and I'll see you in my next podcast episode. Bye, guys.
First